Hey, you crazy bastards. Kick55 here. Wanted to bring up a few things that I found in the Bible not too long ago. Try to point a couple of these things out to people in some comment sections, but come to find out when you point out certain things in the comments, people rarely bother to read or research what you show them. These Christian people, other atheists and I'm sure agnostic type people probably look this up, but unless you basically put the evidence right in a theist's face, a lot of times they find a way to kind of turn a blind eye. But I got a couple cases here. I've got in the Bible, I have found 3 clear cases of human sacrifice, and there's multiple cases of abortion, but I only have one because those are in great detail, and I want to do another video that talk about those, especially because of how anti-abortion, most fundamental Christians are. But let's start with the first one, the sacrifice of priests. This is in 1 Kings 13, 1 through 2. Okay, it's verse 1 through 2. So chapter 13, verse 1 through 2. At the Lord's command, a man of God from Judea went to Bethel, and he arrived from there just as Jeroboam was arriving from the altar to offer a sacrifice. Then, at the Lord's command, he shouted, O altar, O altar. This is what the Lord says, a child named Josiah will be born into the dynasty of David. On you, he's talking to the altar, he will sacrifice the priests from the pagan shrines who come here to burn incense, and human bones will be burned to you. Yeah. So there's human sacrifice. At least the prophecy of a human sacrifice. And I'm sure, they lied that it happened, or maybe, this was written after it actually happened, and it was just a crazy fuck that murdered people and burned them in a shrine. Alright, then the next thing is in Deuteronomy chapter 13, 13 through 19. Okay, and it's about burning non-believers. So that would be me and possibly you, or, your next door neighbor who maybe is a Muslim or a Hindu, or the atheist or someone who just, I don't really know what I believe, I'm kind of looking. Those are all non-believers, infidels. Okay. Suppose you hear in one of your towns the Lord your God is giving you that it's written so poorly. It's like 5th graders wrote it. Some worthless rabble among you have led their fellow citizens astray by encouraging them to worship foreign gods. So missionaries or missionaries from other religions, even, kind of like Christians send their missionaries all over the world to starving people. Instead of feeding them, they give them a Bible. Oh, you don't need food. Here's a Bible. In such cases, you must examine the facts carefully. If you find it is true and can prove such a detestable act has occurred among you, very detestable, you must attack that town and completely destroy all its inhabitants, as well as all the livestock. Then you must pile all the plunder in the middle of the street and burn it. Put the entire town to the torch as a burning offering to the Lord your God. So they're sacrificing an entire town, every man, woman, child, and animal. The town must remain in ruin forever. It may never be rebuilt. Keep none of the plunder that has been set apart for destruction. Then the Lord will turn from his fierce anger and be merciful unto you. He will have compassion on you and make you a great nation, just as he solemnly promised your ancestors. The Lord your God will be merciful only if you obey him and keep all your commandments I am giving you today, doing what is pleasing to him. So, if I go into a town that is Christian and try to teach them about science and you know, they allow it to happen. I guess they don't rise up and stone me or something. And I go out there and try to teach science, or you know, the neighbor who is a Buddhist tries to teach him how to be Buddhist, or a Hindu tries to teach him how to be Hindu, or whatever. Then, according to their holy book, which they supposedly follow to the end of the world, tells them that they're supposed to completely destroy that town, every man, woman, and child. That is really, 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 really fucked up. Okay, now here we have a wonderful addition to this wonderful book about a guy named Jephthah and how he burns his daughter. At that time, the Spirit of the Lord came unto Jephthah, and he went throughout the land of Gilead and Manasseh, including Mizah and Gilead, and led an army against the Ammonites. And Jephthah had a vow to the Lord. He said, so he's making a deal with the Lord. I think I talked about it in my other video. If you give me victory over the Amorites, I will give to the Lord the first thing that comes out of my house to greet me when I return in triumph. I will sacrifice it as a burnt offering. So Jephthah led the army against the Amorites, and the Lord gave him victory. He thoroughly defeated the Amorites from Ar, an area near Minnith, 20 towns, and as far away as Abel. Thus Israel subdued the Amorites. When Jephthah returned home to Mizpah, his daughter, his only child, ran out to greet him, playing a tambourine and dancing for joy. So he comes home from a war. His daughter's been waiting for months, maybe years, to see her father. He shows back up. She comes dancing out, playing a flute, jumping around, celebrating like, you know, any little kid would do when their parent came home from war. When he saw her, he tore his clothes in anguish. "My daughter," he cried out, "my heart is breaking. What a tragedy that you came out to greet me, for I have made a vow to the Lord and cannot take it back." And she said, "Father, you have made a promise to the Lord. You must do what you have promised, for the Lord has given you a great victory over your enemies, the Amorites. But first, let me go up and roam the hills and weep with my friends for 2 months, because I die a virgin." "You may go," Jephthah said, "and let her go away for 2 months." She and her friends went to the hills and wept because she would never have children. Okay, wow. I don't think that's why she was weeping. Okay? I'm pretty sure she was weeping because she's going to fucking die a horrible death and had nothing to do with children. Maybe she was weeping because she'd never have a family or a life. But, you know, I'm just saying, there's a clear case of women are only good for reproducing in the Bible. When she returned home, her father kept his vow, and she died a virgin. So it has been a custom in Israel for young Israelite women to go away for 4 days each year to lament the fate of Jephthah's daughter. That's found in Judges 11:29 through 40. Holy shit. That's a human sacrifice of a dude's own daughter. That's murder. And then that's the most horrible. It's like incomprehensibly horrible. Okay. It's hard for me to make these videos just because of the amount of just fucked up shit, and it just reminds me of all the horrible things that has happened in our history, and it's still here today. You know, how long is it going to hold us back? How long is it going to cause people to die? How many more wars is it going to cause? Okay, moving on. Now this is a case, this is the test for an unfaithful wife. Okay, this is Numbers 5:11 through 21. And this is, I'll just read it to you guys. You ready? Oh, and if you don't believe any of this, I highly encourage you to find a Bible. Please don't buy one, because I really hate to give these people money, but if you have one laying around or you have one that you can borrow, you pull one up on the internet, do so. And look this shit up, dude. I'm not making this up. This is in their book, Human Sacrifice. And here we go. For all the people that are militantly against abortions and pro-choice and whatnot, here's a clear case of that in a forced sense. You ready? Then the Lord said unto Moses, Speak to the Israelites and say unto them, If a man's wife goes astray and is unfaithful to him, so that the other man is in sexual relations with her, and this is hidden from her husband, and her impurity is undetected, since there is no witness against her, and she has not been caught in the act. So and if feelings of jealousy come over the husband, and he suspects his wife, and she is impure, or if he is jealous and suspects her even though she is not impure. So basically, if a husband's like, God damn, bitch, and I feel like they're cheating on me because I'm a fucking jealous asshole, untrusting asshole, even though people in these days had multiple wives. Anyway, I'll take it back up. Even though she is not impure, then he is to take his wife unto the priest. He must also take an offering of tenths of ephah, which is this is a measurement, okay. Tenths of ephah of barley flour on her behalf. He must not pour olive oil on it or put incense in it, because the grain is offering for jealousy, a reminder offering to draw attention to wrongdoing. So basically, he's paying the priest for services rendered. The priest shall bring her and have her stand before the Lord, which is strange because, he's supposed to be everywhere. So she's always standing before the Lord. Then he shall take some holy water in a clay jar and put some dust from the tabernacle floor into the water. So now he has a jar of mud. Seems scientific. After the priest has had the woman stand before the Lord, he shall loosen her hair and place place in her hands a reminder offering, the grain offering for jealousy, while he himself holds the bitter water that brings a curse. Now, it doesn't say what the bitter water is. I don't know if that's the water that he put the fucking dust from the floor in, or if that's some crazy concoction made from the holy water, or what the fuck it is. If I had to guess, it's some water with some fucking plants or poison put into it. Then the priest shall put the woman under oath and say unto her, If no other man has had sexual relations with you, and you have not gone astray, and become impure while married to your husband, may this bitter water bring a curse not harm you. May this bitter water that brings a curse not harm you. But if you have gone astray while married to your husband, and you have made yourself impure by having sexual relations with another man other than your husband, here the priest is to put the woman under this curse. May the Lord cause you to become a curse among your people when he makes your womb miscarry and your abdomen swell. So if it's another man's baby inside of her, then God aborts it. Which obviously didn't happen. Obviously, he gave her a fucking poisonous drink, and the odds are that, it's going to fuck the baby up and cause a miscarriage, or maybe her body would be able to handle it. Probably like a 50-50 deal. But there you go. There's some, really, 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 really fucked up shit in the Bible. That's the kind of shit that, they base the witch hunts off of. Well, if we throw you in the fucking water in this bag full of horseshoes and you float, you're a witch. But if you go down, then you're not. You drown. That's the same fucking logic. It's horrible. Horrible shit, you guys. So, just thought I'd point that out. I'm going to try to do a couple more videos pointing out some of this stuff. I know, I don't have a lot of equipment. I'm doing this off my cell phone. So, I'm just trying to do the best I can. I'm trying to point out some of the stuff in here, kind of educate people about what they what they believe and the basis of some of the crazy shit, and just basically how this is unevolved, you know, desert fucking fairy tales, which, you know, are really fucked up fairy tales. So, alright guys, if you like my videos, you can subscribe, I guess. If you don't, then you don't. See you later.